Hey, good morning. Welcome back to our shop here just outside of Kennesaw in North Georgia. Well, today's video is going to be discussing this probably early 1900s oak pedestal table. The story is this weekend I ran across a young lady who had bought this, and she apparently paid an awful lot of money for it with the intention of restoring it. She was a homeowner with no particular talents, and when she got the thing home, she realized she was way over her head. And she had it for sale. Basically, she offered to give it to me for nothing just to get it out of her house, but I gave her $5 for it. This is what I saw when I picked it up. I didn't really look at it because it didn't matter to me. I've restored lots of these, and I've had real good luck with them. But this one has some unique issues to it that I wanted to share with you. So what I'll do is we'll go over them one at a time, and you'll understand why I eventually made the decision that I did. The first thing I want to show you is this pedestal. Now this appears to be the original pedestal. Unfortunately, it's been painted, but that's not unusual. Obviously, if we were going to restore this, we would could either leave it painted or we could strip it and bring it back so it matched the golden oak, the original golden oak. You can see the hardware on this, and I'll bring in and here you can see the hardware. Obviously these two Phillips head screws have been replaced, but the wood is old. Here's a remnants of a sticker. I can't read any part of it. You know, you've got your square nuts. The wood is clearly heavily oxidized. So this piece is legitimately old. However, let's look at the bottom of this pedestal and see if it becomes apparently obvious to you what's wrong. Look at the base and look at the legs. This pedestal is not sitting on the legs. It's sitting on the base. So the reason for that is this style of table originally had casters, and the casters actually made contact with the ground, not the bottoms of the legs. So without those casters, you cannot even use this table. Now the caster holders are all here, although this one here is exceptionally loose. And I don't happen to have a set of casters that I could just pop into this. Obviously we could probably find some as long as they fit, or replace the ones that are here. But that in itself ends the usefulness of this table absent those casters. When the table is put together without the casters, it's too low to use. A table height is standard table height is 30 inches. Some of the older ones are 28. Some of the European ones are 28s. When you sit at a 28-inch table, you feel very uncomfortable. So it really needs to be 30 to be useful to the American public. And then, of course, you know, a simple issue like this with a chunk of missing wood, we could inlay another piece there if we were going to restore this piece. But this is the pedestal. So right away we have a critical problem. We have no casters. The pedestal is too small, and it's completely unusable in the condition it's in. Let's move on to the top. Here's the top. And at first glance, it's just a standard brown, I guess it's 4 feet, maybe 5 foot tabletop. However, it's missing the leaf. When you buy a table and it doesn't have the leaf, it kills the value. Some solutions is to glue the tabletop together when you refinish it. Try to make it look like it wasn't missing the leaf, but when you spin the table around, you'll see that it has the leaf mechanism on it. And anybody that knows anything will spot this and know that this table has been seriously hacked. The damage to this, other than the finish, I got a little buddy, is right here. And this section of top is come apart from the rest of it. Now this normally is an easy fix. All you do is take the top off the apron, take this piece off, clean the glue off of it. You want to be careful when you have a round top that you don't take material off, because it'll throw off the radius of this piece and it won't line back up. But you scrape the glue off of it, scrape the glue off of this, and then using your standard clamping plan for a round piece of furniture, you just glue and clamp it back on, and it's good for another 100 years. And that's normally just how you would fix it. So that's not a big problem. What's great about this tabletop, and I'm going to flip it over and bring you in, this is tiger oak, or what's basically just quarter sawn oak. Very popular at the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. Lots of times this is veneered. This tabletop is solid. It's solid, quarter sawn. I believe it's either, I think it's red oak, but I'm not good enough to know for sure if it's red oak or white oak. So this piece of wood is pretty desirable. Let me flip this over for you and we'll come take a closer look and you'll see some of the other issues we're facing. Okay, the tabletop is flipped over now, and let's take a look at a little bit of the repair history here. The apron has been reattached with these modern brackets and a modern screw here. It's supposed to be attached with these. Now again, this is a replacement screw, but these are basically clips that sit into recesses in the apron so the top can expand and contract without splitting. This obviously was held in with bracketry. It couldn't expand and contract, and that's what split this piece here. And the repairs that someone tried to make was to bridge it with these pieces of iron. There's indications of all sorts of adhesives that were put in there to repair that. So this has been toyed with. Again, over here we have another bracket. But as you look at the repair, you see that the apron doesn't line up. So if we were to do this correctly, and of course this apron, if you look here, this apron has been broken and re-glued. To do this correctly, you'd have to remove all of this hardware, line it up correctly, and reattach it. And obviously some of these holes here are going to have to be refilled. So there's a lot of work here. The poor woman who bought this had absolutely no idea the condition, and I believe she bought it at an antique store or an auction. I mean, this is typical for an old piece of furniture that comes through an auction. It's just cobbled together, and they dump it off on some unsuspecting person who's in over their head. This table could be restored, but again, it's always going to have no leaf. It's always going to have non-original casters. It's going to have all sorts of repair scars to the underneath. I looked on eBay this morning, a table just like this, with the leaf, with the casters, and with the pedestal unpainted, sold for $52. So there's really no value here, particularly without chairs, to justify a restoration. And we hate to be the ones who pronounce a piece of antique furniture dead. So what's the answer? Well, this is what I'm going to do with this table. I'm going to strip it of this original mechanism, which is a leaf mechanism, a leaf latch mechanism that is just really cool, as you can see how it works. We're going to strip that off and we're going to sell that on eBay. Some restorer is looking for something like this for a project they're working on, and they'll be very, very happy to get this. Every single old screw that's in this table will get removed and saved by me, and I'll use them in another project. All of this old wood that's associated with the leaf mechanism will be saved and will be used in whatever projects come up down the road. I'll take the apron off, and I'm going to save all the quarter sawn oak. You can see when you flip the tabletop over that this is quarter sawn oak, so this is solid wood. And we have all, whatever this is, a 4 or 5 foot diameter circle of quarter sawn oak that we're going to have for other projects or to build something new with if that comes out. The pedestal I'll take the legs off. I'll save those because those are solid wood. I'll save all the old screws. I'll save all the old bolts. And we will basically use this terminally ill table as a donor so other antiques can live. It's never anything I'm happy to do, but this is a very frank assessment of the status of this table. It's been toyed with and neglected to the point that it's no longer feasible to restore it, because once it's restored, it's not going to have anywhere near the value that you will have invested in this. Obviously, if this piece was a family heirloom for someone and they wanted to put the money into having it restored, we could do that for them, but it would be a lengthy restoration. Just looking at the issues with the hardware, you know, obviously the missing leaves, the misaligned apron, the dysfunctional pedestal, it's just overwhelming. So, as the Furniture Coroner, I'm going to pronounce this one DOA, and we will begin the autopsy and remove those organs that we can use in transplants, and get this wood taken apart and put away, and move on to something else. There's no sense for you to watch me take out 6 million screws and disassemble this wood, so we'll call the video there. But the important message that I had with this video is to show you the assessment process, and that sometimes you really have to pronounce one of these old pieces DOA. Salvage what you can salvage and move on. I never feel good about it, I really don't, but that's the case here. So that poor lady got taken advantage of, and we'll do the best we can to preserve what we can so other antiques can live. Hey, listen, from just outside Kennesaw here in North Georgia, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to get to work disassembling this table, and best regards. Take care.